All right, we're joined today by Justin Powell and Mouhamed Gueye following today's game against Arizona. If you have a question, please just indicate and we will get the microphone to you before you ask. Thank you.
Obviously, played a good game against a good team. You can't ask for much more besides obviously a win. What did you guys feel like you did best today, each of you?
I thought we moved the ball pretty well. We executed stuff on the offensive end pretty well. And I think we did a good job paying attention to scout and executing the scout. Obviously, they got a couple shots in the beginning that we didn't want, but I think we started off really slow, which kind of hurt us. But after that, we kind of regrouped, and I think we battled well, honestly. We just couldn't come up with it.
Yeah, I thought we fought pretty well, like loose balls and everything. I thought that was the best job we did for sure.
All right. As far as, looking forward to the future, what lessons you want to take from this one, maybe moving into Arizona State or some of the other hard games later in the season?
Probably just bring the energy like at the beginning. We didn't have a good start, so I think if we play hard like we did after the first media, we will be in a good position.
All right. How does it feel, when you're getting late into a game and those percentages, like the 3-point percentage was pretty low there. Does it feel, we kind of talked about it before, but is there that added pressure, you think, of like, we need to start making these, or is it just sort of?
I think we're basketball players, just so, like, we got to hit shots. Like, that's one thing, and Coach said in the huddle, he's like, we're playing well, but we got to just hit shots. When we knew that, we knew we weren't hitting, and we knew we weren't shooting well. And that's what you got to shoot well to beat a team like that. Credit to them. They're a really, really good team. So you got to hit a lot of your shots. But I don't think it adds any pressure. I just think, we got to step up and knock down some shots.
Between last game against Arizona and this game, do you feel like, did their approach change, against you guys? Or?
I think just us not hitting shots is the biggest difference. I think at Arizona, we played pretty good. We competed hard, but most importantly, we was hitting shots, hitting threes. But today, he wasn't falling.
Yeah, early on there, they were shooting really well. I think they were at like 70% for a second in the first half. And towards the end, I don't know what their exact percentage was, 36. That got way down. Did you guys change your approach, or was that just shots not falling for them?
It was just like harder hand on defense. Like, they always talk about, like, you can have a hand up, our coaching staff, you don't always have a hand up, but unless you're trying to make them miss, you can't really do anything. Like, they practice, so they know what they're doing. They are in the gym all the time like we are. So, we just gotta come out better in the beginning, like we said, and try to make them miss. And I know I gave up a couple in the beginning. But, we adjusted, which was good. But I think the start is what killed us, honestly.
And then you were able to cut the deficit down to 1 point at about midway through that second half. What did they do coming out of that break that allowed them to regain control of the game?
We just they came out and they just kept running their stuff. They stayed steady. Like I said, credit to them. They stayed steady the whole time. They didn't really break. And they're one of those teams that you gotta keep trying to turn them over and stuff like that. But they got to their stuff and they got in their offense and they got a couple stops. But like I said, all they did was they kept going into their bigs. And Kirk Risa, he credit to him too. He came and he hit a couple big shots for him. So just a couple of things like that. But they stayed to their game.
What about there was that stretch, especially early in the second half, where it seemed like the game was kind of choppy, a grinder type game. What was it about the way you guys were matching up against each other, maybe the styles contrasting, and those moments that kind of made it hard to get shots and it made it a little bit sloppy in that stretch?
I think Dylan did a really good job against Carissa. So him being on the game, him like pressuring him full court, stealing balls, I think that would make it hard for them to get shot off. And they was playing a pretty good defense too, making us take tough shots. I think that was the only reason.
Early on, we saw Andrami and Dylan not play as much, but later down the stretch, they've played quite a bit and they've contributed defensively. What have you seen from them, and how have they grown as basketball players?
Man, obviously they're freshmen, but they're doing a really good job just being like competitive every game, bringing the energy. even though they don't play, they got the energy on the bench. Adrami is the most unselfish teammates probably ever had. Dylan the same. I think this them soaking everything and just, keeping their same energy, like even playing or not. I think that's the biggest thing they put.
Then both of you with a high volume of rebounds, what's the key to, I guess, getting to the ball, and what's your approach? And have you seen your kind of gravitation towards the ball improve as the season has gone on?
For sure. I mean, like I said earlier this season, we didn't have Deshaun, so they needed me to rebound and to go against big. So I'm just, trying to box out every time and grab the boards.
And so often, well, one last question, so often you've been so close against tough teams. What's kind of the missing link to, you saw it against Arizona where you just dominated, but what's the missing link to just get on the other side and win?
Yeah, just winning at this and making buckets.
Anything else for players?
Yeah, we've been seeing, early in the season there was a sort of hypothetical lineup of Mo, you, and Adrame at the same time out there so that you could play more, like the 4 spot, you could play the 5. Last couple games we've been seeing that a lot more. What does that, sort of switch of role feel like for you?
I mean, it's great because that was the plan, me playing the 4, Deshaun playing the 5, but obviously something happened and, just trying to put me and AD out the game, Both of us can block shot, be great defensively. I think it will help us a lot, and we're just going to work on it. We didn't do it a lot the whole season. The past 2 games, we've been working on it, on practice and everything. I think it will help us a lot if we, got it going.